You ever see something that stops you dead in your tracks, something so unexpected it makes you question everything you thought you knew? That's what happened to CEO Clara Benton one late night in her company's hallway, when she found her daughter, Sophie, sitting on the cold floor, studying beside the janitor. But what Clara discovered next would change not just her company, but her entire heart. So before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and stay till the end, because this story will remind you that success isn't measured by titles, but by heart. Clara Benton was the kind of woman people admired and feared. The youngest female CEO in the company's history, sharp in her tailored suits and unstoppable in boardrooms. Her time was money, her words were law. But success had its price. Her daughter, Sophie, 14, had learned to eat dinner alone most nights. Clara always promised she'd make time, after this deal, after this merger, after this quarter. Yet, after, never came. One rainy evening, Clara returned to the office past midnight, frustrated after a call with investors. The entire building was dark, except for a faint light in the employee lounge. She frowned. "Who's still here?" she muttered, heels clicking sharply on the marble. As she turned the corner, she froze. There was Sophie, sitting cross-legged on the floor, her hair tied in a messy bun, textbooks spread around her. And beside her, mopping bucket beside his leg, sat Henry, the janitor. "And that's how you solve the equation," Henry was saying, his rough hands pointing gently at the notebook. Sophie beamed. "You make it sound so easy. Math's just another puzzle," Henry smiled softly. "You just need patience, not fear." Clara's voice cut through the air. "What is going on here?" Sophie jumped. "Mom, I wanted help with my math homework. Mr. Henry was showing me." Clara's tone turned cold. "Mr. Henry is not a tutor, he's an employee. If you need help, I'll hire someone qualified." Henry quickly stood, wiping his hands nervously. "Ma'am, I'm sorry. I was just trying to help." But Clara interrupted, "That won't be necessary. Please, return to your duties." Henry nodded silently, picked up his mop, and left. Sophie's eyes welled up. "He was helping me because you're never around," she burst out before running off. That night, Clara couldn't sleep. Her daughter's words cut deep. She told herself she was doing it all for Sophie, to give her a better life. But what kind of life was it, if she wasn't even there? The next morning, Clara arrived early, still restless. She saw Henry again, cleaning the hallway. She hesitated, then walked up to him. "Henry, I owe you an apology." He looked surprised. "No need, ma'am. No, really. My daughter said you've been helping her for weeks." Henry nodded. "She's bright, but she doubts herself. Reminds me of my own daughter." Clara blinked. "Your daughter?" Henry smiled faintly. "Yeah, she wanted to be an engineer. I used to help her study just like Sophie, but she didn't make it." Clara's voice softened. "Didn't make it." Henry swallowed hard. "Cancer. 2 years ago. She was 17. The silence hung heavy. For the first time, Clara really saw him, not just as the janitor, but as a father who'd lost everything, yet still found it in him to care for someone else's child. Over the next few days, Clara noticed small things: Henry greeting employees by name, helping the interns with advice, even fixing a broken desk quietly without being asked. He was invisible to most, yet more human than anyone in the entire building. One evening, Clara called Sophie into her office. "Honey," she said softly, "I met Henry today. He told me about his daughter." Sophie nodded sadly. "He said she was smart. He told me to never give up on learning." Clara smiled faintly. "Would you like him to keep helping you, with my permission this time?" Sophie's eyes lit up. "Really? Really?" From that day, things began to change. Clara started leaving the office earlier, joining Sophie and Henry for study sessions in the lounge. She watched as her daughter's grades improved, and as laughter returned to their home. But Clara wasn't done. One morning, she called a meeting with her board. "We're starting a new scholarship," she announced, "for employees' children and for students from underprivileged backgrounds. It'll be called the Emily Program, named after Henry's daughter." The board was stunned. Henry, standing in the back, wiped a tear from his eye. Months passed. The company grew, not just in profit, but in heart. The lounge where Sophie once studied became a tutoring center for employees' families. Henry became its coordinator, guiding dozens of kids who once felt unseen. One afternoon, as the sun set through the office windows, Clara looked at Sophie and Henry laughing together over a math problem. For the first time, she felt peace. She realized she hadn't just built a company, she'd built a family. And as she watched them, she thought back to that night in the hallway, the night she thought she'd caught something wrong. But in truth, she'd caught something rare. Human kindness.